Hey, it's Cliff again. I want to talk about President-elect Donald J. Trump. Now, to be clear on one thing, I am not a Trump supporter or a Clinton supporter. I voted for Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate. Will Trump be a good president? To be succinct, it is too early on to tell whether he will be a good president or a bad president, but I want to analyze some of his proposals, both good and bad. The bad first and the good second. Ways in which it is likely that Trump will be a bad president. First of all, it would be a mistake if he continues to demonize Muslims immigrating to the United States. It is in a solely negative light. Now, to be fair, it is okay to have what he calls extreme vetting to make sure that people who hold radical, anti-democratic, and anti-Western views out of the country. But I recommend that he abandon his plan to halt immigration of all Muslims. The reason I am against this plan is that it is a bigoted position that stereotypes all Muslims as being dangerous. The second way in which Trump would be a bad president is if he signs into law a complete overturn of Obamacare. This would kick millions of people off of health insurance, and people may die because of this. This is horrible. Obamacare should never be overturned unless it is replaced with single-payer health care. The third way in which a Trump presidency could be bad is that he most likely would shift the balance of the Supreme Court to a Supreme Court that would not protect abortion rights and would not protect gay and lesbian people to marry. This, in my opinion, would be potentially the most dangerous thing about Trump's presidency. We need to let President Trump know he will suffer politically in the 2020 re-election campaign if he appoints conservatives to the Supreme Court. The fourth way in which a Trump presidency could be harmful is if he passes his tax bill, which reduces the marginal income tax rate of billionaires from 33% down to 15%. This would be harmful because it would gut the federal budget, and many people who rely on government support, such as disabled people, could suffer if their funds are cut. Now, ways in which Trump could be a good president. First of all, his plan to put serious protectionist tariffs against imports and to penalize other countries that make his plan to put serious protectionist tariffs against imports and to penalize U.S. companies that make products outside the United States or have headquarters outside the United States would greatly increase the amount of jobs, particularly in the manufacturing sector in the United States. We need to hold Congress and Trump to the fire to make sure that he keeps his promise, as there is a Republican majority in Congress and Republicans are historically opposed to protectionism and tariffs regarding trade. We need to double down in keeping Trump and Congress accountable to keeping their campaign promise of massively increasing tariffs to protect American industry from foreign competition. The second way in which a Trump presidency could be good is that he has a proposal to massively decrease the corporate income tax. Now, that may seem strange that I support this in light of the fact that I do not Now, this may seem strange that I do not support this in the light that I do not support decreasing the upper margin of the personal income tax, but the difference between decreasing the corporate income tax would be that this would be a benefit to our national economy. Reducing the corporate income tax and making it so low that it is a competitive advantage against most other nations would attract a lot more business to the United States. This, of course, would greatly benefit the economy. So will Trump be a good president? It depends on our ability to force him to deliver on the campaign promises of protecting American industry from foreign competition and reducing the corporate income tax. It also depends on our willingness to force Trump not to ban all Muslims from immigrating, to stop Trump from appointing anti-gay marriage and anti-abortion bigots to the Supreme Court, to stop Trump from signing into law an overturn of Obamacare, and to stop Trump from giving massive tax cuts to billionaires. So will Trump be a good or bad president? The answer depends on us. If we are willing to let Trump know he will not be reelected in 2020 unless he does as we are asking him to do. So I encourage everyone out there to become active in politics and let the president and your congressional representatives know what you expect of them. Okay, that's it. Please comment down below and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. Thank you, and let's get our act together and make Trump do the good things he promised that he would do, and force him not to do the bad things he said he was going to do.